I think I kind of look like a Sith Lord today, which is always a good feeling. Hi, thank you for clicking on the video, and I hope everyone is doing really well today. So I am going to be watching a video, and it is the video on thin privilege, and so I believe that I would be categorized in the thin category. I mean, why does it matter? But let's find out what privileges I have that other people don't have and seem to think they can't have them.
Thin privilege. Now, it's not a mythical creature or something made up. If you're thin, you have a certain privilege. The everyday tasks that a thinner person can take for granted. It can leave a plus-size person like myself feel full of anxiety, burden, and upset, and feelings that they don't belong and don't deserve a place in the earth. So, public transport. What a nightmare for plus-size people.
You weren't born obese. You weren't born plus size. You weren't born this way. It is a combination sometimes of personal choice and on occasion medical or biological factors. But for the most part, and I could be wrong, but I believe for the most part that obesity exists because of choices that we make. We choose the donut over the vegetable one too many times. We choose to sleep in rather than going to the gym one too many times. We form habits that then dictate kind of the size we are. Now, I feel like a lot of people who are overweight or plus size seem to think like, I'm overweight, I'm plus size, I guess that's just what I am. And I want to know, like, I legit want to know, do they think they can't change that? Thin people, skinny people, fit people do not have privilege. They just have an easier time in certain circumstances. That's not a privilege, and you too could have those privileges if you just lost weight.
Just think. Can you sit in a seat and not be met with sighs, huffing, puffing, and someone squirming in the seat next to you, making you feel uncomfortable, and knowing that they don't want you there?
It's not that that person doesn't want you there or anything like that, and if someone huffs or puffs, just ignore it. Their reaction that might not have anything to do with you. And speaking of not having anything to do with you, perhaps, just perhaps, you should stop thinking the world is staring at you as if you're the center of the universe. Not everyone is paying attention to you. You might not even be noticed, and you are reading into a person's reaction or a person's like personal habit of maybe making a sigh or something. It didn't matter what size you were. You walk in and I notice you're going to sit next to me, I might roll my eyes, I might get a little bit more physically uncomfortable. And it has nothing to do with size. It just has to do with the fact that I don't like people sitting next to me. And I understand in a crowded train or a crowded bus, it's gonna happen, but guess what? I'm still gonna be irritated because I have that habit inside of me programmed to be annoyed when people want to sit near me. And it has nothing to do with body shape or body weight.
Can you go to 99.9% of the high street and shop, try on, and take an outfit away that very same day and not actually being able to go and enjoy the experience of shopping?
I'm sorry that stores want to make a profit and they want to sell to the average person. Morbidly obese, sadly, is becoming more common and more of the average, but it is not the average yet. And so stores are unfortunately in the business of making money. And so that means that they're going to cater to their customer, their demographic, their ideal client. And unfortunately, you are not that. More and more shops and stores are opening up as plus size stores. Back when I was young, you had like 2 or 3, maybe not even that, you had 1 or 2 plus size stores, and it was all the same shapeless, frumpy clothing. If you were overweight, that is what you wore. You couldn't wear anything cute. Shops are opening up that are catered just to plus size, more and more kind of traditional like smaller size stores, they're opening up sections that are the same exact fashion, just in a plus size version, and it caters to a bigger person. I can speak from experience because I work with designers that are putting out plus size versions of their normal collections, and they're even constructed differently from the inside out. So there's a privilege that plus size people are getting that thin people are not getting. And also keep in mind, a big percent of shops are closing down because online shopping is taking over, and trying on clothes is overrated. No one actually likes dressing rooms because they're not flattering. The lighting in there is not flattering for anyone.
Grabbing something to eat, just think, can you pop into a bakery, pick up a donut, and sit there and then enjoy it, and not feel that you've met with stays or comment, I cannot do that.
It's just called enjoy your food and ignore other people. You're the only person who is uncomfortable when they go out to eat. And you know why that people are giving you, like, there's more of a chance that people are giving you looks when you go and pop in and get a donut? Yeah, it's because of your size and you're choosing to eat a donut. You want the privilege of a thin person, yet you're not willing to put in the work to become that person. So yeah, you're gonna get stares and maybe people are judging you a bit more when you make those kind of food choices. I think people judge people no matter what. As someone who has struggled for a long time to eat around people, let me tell you, it's not just a plus size person issue. You're not that entertaining. And guess what? People aren't just watching you, okay? People go out to eat and they're there to eat. They're not there to see what you're eating. No one cares about you. Oh my God. Like, I know it's harsh, but no one cares.
That, going to the doctors. Are you able to go and be seen and diagnose what is actually wrong with you, or the appointment turns into a weigh-in session?
I don't understand why bigger people seem to think that going to the doctor, they're going to go to the doctor and their weight is not going to be brought up. If you lost a little weight, chances are by losing that weight, you might actually improve the symptoms that you are coming to the doctor for in the first place. If it's too high or too low, guess what? It's grounds for a discussion because it's not healthy.
And to be honest, I actually avoid going to the doctors now.
You avoid going to the doctors. Why? Because you're afraid of the truth, and you're afraid that a doctor who kind of knows what the fuck they're talking about is going to, I don't know, point out where you could possibly make changes in your health. Yeah, avoid going to those people, the people who actually could help you. That's a good idea.
Just because I don't feel like I'm taken seriously. Just because someone's smaller, just in the same way as someone's bigger. There's no way that you could diagnose someone's health just by looking at them.
You can't diagnose a person's internal health just by looking at them, but just by looking at a person, you could probably make some pretty educated guesses, especially if you're a doctor.
You wouldn't go up to a thin person or comment on pictures listing off all the health problems that they may or may not have.
That is not true. Case in point, Eugenia Cooney. People will criticize everyone and anything regardless. You're too fat. Guess what? You're gonna get called fat. You're too thin, you're gonna get called too thin. You're gonna be told you're unhealthy, you're killing yourself. And guess what? It goes both ways.
Yet again, another privilege.
That's not a privilege. We live in a time of social media. These are just things you have to get used to.
So I can put a picture up on Instagram and I listed with everything that's wrong with me. Of course, none of it is true because nothing's wrong with me.
Like, nothing is wrong with you. It's, you have decided that, like, by deciding that thin people have privilege, you have decided that all of these reasons why thin privilege exists are things that are wrong with you. So you do think things are wrong with you, because if you didn't think things were wrong with you, you would say you have privilege just like everybody else.
Before you roll your eyes at the idea of thin privilege, just try putting yourself in someone else's shoes and just looking at it from their point of view.
I can put myself in a larger person's shoes, and guess what? I still have all the same insecurities that I currently have. I have all the same fears. I have all the same desires and I have the same happinesses, like things that make me happy. I'm still the same, I'm just a different body. And guess what? When your body changes, life stays the same. You just have to adapt. It doesn't impact your life unless it's starting to take your life.
How it could affect them or how it could make them feel. I'm not having a go at thin people at all.
How can you say you're not bashing thin people? You're complaining about something that, one, doesn't exist, and two, if it did exist, you could have it too.
But just simply acknowledging there is the privilege that society has unfortunately put on people who are thinner. Just to combat it, just acknowledge it, be accepting of anybody of any size.
I am accepting of everyone at any size. You can be a beautiful, kind, good person at any size. I just refuse to accept that you're healthy.
Don't fall into what society and the media are trying to tell us that are right and wrong.
It's not media, it's not society, it's science.
There are bigger people in the world, there are smaller people in the world. Celebrating everybody's differences.
It's not a difference, it's just a difference in lifestyle. So I'm taking care of myself now for the future. I'm not just throwing my health to the side and being like, well, I'm just gonna live my life and do whatever I want and then cry because people are pointing out that I'm unhealthy. I'm sorry, doctors are pointing out that I'm unhealthy. I wanna be healthy. I'm not gonna celebrate killing yourself through your diet and your lack of activity. Like, that's nothing to celebrate.
Everybody being kind to one another regardless of your size.
Yes, we should be kind to one another regardless of our size. So why are you taking a shit on thin people? Just accept us. Accept us and put yourself in our shoes and see that, oh, life isn't all peaches and cream on this side of the bridge. Like, the grass is always greener on the other side. No, I'm sorry. Like, we have just as many issues as you might. This is over. That is my opinion, and probably not the nicest opinion. And you have to put in the hard work, and sometimes you have to make sacrifices. You know, I go to the gym, I still get judged. I get people rolling their eyes and, you know, giving me looks, and it's like, I'm not here for them. I'm here for me. I'm here to be better than who I was yesterday. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe if you are not yet subscribed, and feel free to leave any questions or comments or video suggestions in the comment section below, and I will see you next time. Bye!